Hi. People constantly come to me and they want to know how to deal with different kinds of people. I mean, let's face it, not everyone is the same. Some people are stubborn, some people are too pliant, some people are too aggressive, some people are too passive. Understanding people is quite a rocket science. So, in my job as a consultant and as a coach to several organizations, I have come across this primary challenge that people have. How do we deal with people? How to perform my job? People know it. How to deal with the policies in the organization? They know it. How to develop my career? They know it. But how to deal with different kinds of people? The biggest challenge that people face on a day-to-day basis. In my 20 years of research and study about personalities and psychology of people, I have managed to categorize them into certain very visible and very obvious personality styles. I'm going to share some of them with you today. It'll help you to get a better insight on why people are the way they are and what makes them do what they do and really what makes them tick and how you can really get along with every type of person on this planet. So let's start with the first one. The first one is called the shark. Yes, I know, shark. The minute I say the word, I can see you smiling and you're thinking about all those people who are aggressive and well bloodthirsty. Yes, that's exactly how they come across. This personality style is describes someone who is aggressive, who loves challenges, who hates to take instructions, who loves giving instructions, who is very opinionated, has a very strong sense of like and dislike. Very difficult to get along with these people because they don't allow too much of intimacy and they're constantly trying to push themselves to the forefront. Some really interesting things about the shark is that they are very ambitious, they're very goal oriented, they are very insensitive to other people's feelings, usually emotionally very strong and physically definitely very strong. Don't expect sympathy from them. Definitely don't expect empathy from them. They are people who will push you to the limit of your competence and definitely your patience. Sharks are people who love challenges. If you really want to make them do something for you, just tell them they can't do it. And then they would definitely prove you wrong. And that's what they really enjoy. They enjoy proving people wrong. For a shark, the most important thing in life is self-esteem. He or she is willing to compromise on anything but self-respect and self-esteem. For them, looking good in front of people is very important. Sharks are difficult people, yes, but believe me, they are the most hardworking, they are the most success-oriented and definitely very self-motivated at most times. Have you dealt with a shark? And then the second kind of person, the fox. Yes, the same guys who are manipulative, cunning, extremely resourceful. The shortcut masters. You want any job done from them, you just have to tell them. And they do some kind of jugaad somewhere and your job gets done. Exceptionally good at networking. They're almost everybody from every field of life. Foxes are people whom you cannot catch documenting anything. They hate to document things simply because they don't want to be caught at a commitment that they would rather not have made. Foxes are easy people to get along well with. They are very charming, they have the gift of the gab, they are extremely friendly and they make you feel good. You have to be really careful about sharing your secrets with them because they hold it somewhere in their mind and they could use it against you. I'm not saying they really will, but they may use it against you if it is going to benefit them. If you are going to be dealing with a fox, you really need to be very careful about 2 or 3 things, right? One is they do things only because it serves some purpose or other for them. Second, whatever they say, they don't really mean. So don't completely believe them in whatever they say. The third one is that they will definitely sell their own souls if they think that they're going to be getting some benefit out of it. So be careful about sharing gossip or sharing secrets with them. Confidentiality is something they don't understand unless it is going to benefit them. Foxes, very smart, sometimes a little too smart for you. You know some of them, don't you? And the third kind of person, the tortoise. Tortoises have this protective shell about them. They don't like to confront people. They don't like to have chaos or confusion or conflicts in their life. They would rather be quiet and not say a word. It doesn't mean that they don't have worries or they don't have anxieties or they don't have conflicts with people. They carry it in their heart and they will never ever open up and share it with people around them. Tortoises are very documentation oriented. They love reports. They love PPTs. They love Excel sheets. It gives them something concrete to work on. They do not like just conversation. They build a very intimate circle of influence around them. If they know somebody, they for several years, only then they actually allow someone within that circle. They are very loyal to a cause. They're very loyal to people. They do not accept friendships very easily. They're very skeptical and suspicious of anything which is new. Things have to be tried and tested before they will say yes to it. Something very interesting about tortoises is that they are not very comfortable with people. They are not very comfortable with new ideas. They are not very comfortable with experimentation. And one very important thing about them that you would really like to know, they don't forgive and forget. They carry things in their heart for a very, very long time. They may not show you that they're upset with you, but 10, 20, 30 years down the line, believe me, he remembers how you teased him and how you made his life miserable or maybe shouted at him. He will get back to you. So somewhere very, very vengeful. So you need to be really careful of tortoises. Have you heard some tortoise in your life? The next category is a teddy. Yes, the sweet, kind, generous, extremely cooperative kind. Most teddies love people. They love relationships. They love being mollycoddled, and they love being with people who appreciate them and who love them. They're very family oriented. There would not be a single event or a birthday or a marriage or any other activity there where they would not be an active part of. Teddies are generally very, very liked by everyone. They love to be popular, and the only way to hurt a teddy is by telling him someone does not like him, because his only objective in life is to be liked by people. Ask yourself, how much money have you actually lent to people generally? Oh, is that right? That much? Then you are a teddy. I mean, do you intend to ask it back from them? No? Then you definitely are a teddy. Most teddies hate to ask for something even if it does belong to them. So most of them end up loaning out money and giving money away to hundreds of people, and they never have the intention to ask the money back from them. You're one. Give me a call. Give me your number. I would like to get in touch with you really. And the fifth category, owl. Owls are supposed to be very, very collaborative. They are very analytical, very logical. They enjoy getting people together and making them work together towards a common cause. They are very, very team oriented, and organization goals will always have top priority with them. They enjoy discussions and debates and brainstorming and asking a lot of questions. You may run out of answers, but they will not run out of asking questions. They love probing, not because they have anything personal against you, but rather because they want to get to the root cause of whatever the problem is and the solution thereof. Owls are very easy to get along well with, but they don't really appreciate intimacy. They would rather keep distance. They would rather have a professional relationship with you, and so don't expect them to leverage their friendships with you whenever you work with them. They know how to separate work from their personal life. Owls are very, I would say, leadership oriented. They really get people together. They garner resources. They make you think. They make you probe. They make you become very, very competent. They enjoy the journey of reaching the solution rather than the solution itself. Owls, good people. But when it comes to decisions, it may take them a very long time to get there, because they don't take decisions very easily. If you ever went to them with a problem, they will want to get the entire team together and then discuss with them and then minute it. brainstorm, then come across with a solution which may or may not work. They like to experiment a lot, very open to new ideas. So if you want a very quick decision from them, you can forget from the owl. The owl does not believe in quick decision making. So owls, extremely collaborative, but yes, very difficult in terms of decision making. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking about this guy in your company who doesn't fall under any of these categories, right? I mean, you're wondering, who is this man? Because sometimes he's a shark, sometimes he's an owl, sometimes a teddy, sometimes a fox, and then sometimes a tortoise. I call this guy the X category or the cat category. The previous 5 categories have been explained by various psychologists in various forms, Thomas Kilmann being one of them. But this category is a completely new one, a fresh one just for you. The X category or the cat category is about describing those people who are very confused by nature. They are confused and they confuse you too, because you're not even remotely predictable. They are aggressive and at the same time passive. Sometimes they are extremely giving and then you'll find them extremely selfish. You'll find them cooperative and then conflict oriented. I mean, who are these people who confuse you and the people all around them? Before you understand these guys a little more, I'm going to draw up a psychological profile for you. These are people who are not very confident about their success. Just think about this. Assuming that there's this guy who's a shark, and if he has achieved mega success in his life being a shark, at the age of 40 and 50, would he really change his personality? Would he change his behavior? No, of course not. Even if you asked him to change his behavior, he'll just look at you and say, excuse me, I am very successful at the age of 50. Who are you to question me and why should I change? Who I was and who I am has brought me till here. Think about a fox. If he's been a fox and if he's successful at the age of 40 and 50 and 60, he'll remain a fox because he doesn't feel the need to change. Likewise with all the other categories, but this category is very special. These are those people who might have been extremely successful in school and in college, maybe very popular then. They might have been a shark and that's how they thought they should be when they join work. So when they do join an organization, they continue being a shark. But you know how sharks are treated in the beginning of their career? If you are lucky and if your boss is very, very proactive, he'll ensure you get great opportunities. But the minute you are in an organization where proactiveness and enthusiasm is not given too much of merit, you'll find people trying to push you down. So this is typically that guy who maybe showed a lot of initiative in the beginning, and because no one appreciated, he kind of scratched his head somewhere there and said, oh, is it really working for me? How come everybody else is getting promoted and I'm not? So he stopped being a shark. And then maybe he became a fox. And being a fox didn't quite work because the company now that he was associated with believed in a lot of ethical practices and maybe a lot of documentation. Now foxes don't like documentation, and this guy is now confused because he thought documentation was not important. So again he scratches his head somewhere 5-10 years down the line and says, oh, maybe being a teddy will really work for me. So he becomes a teddy. Again, destiny doesn't work, becomes a tortoise. Destiny doesn't work, and at the age of around 50 or 45, he realizes nothing seems to work. So there comes a time in life where this guy simply does not understand what personality type really leads to success. Or believe me, many of them are really successful, but who can define success to a person? If a person believes that he's not successful, whatever you tell him, he's not going to believe you. So these cats are people who don't really believe that they're successful. They think they were capable of so much more. They think they had so much more potential than what has been explored. So that makes them extremely unpredictable. You'll find that they get emotional at times, and you'll find that they're emotionally cold at times. They're simply no telling what they're thinking and what they will do next. This category of people are the most difficult to work with. With all the other categories, they're at least predictable. You know what a shark is going to say. You know what a teddy is going to say or how he's going to react. You know 6 categories now. And the last category, the X guys and the cats, are usually the most difficult to predict and to get along well with. Or to understand for that matter. Because see, all the other 5 categories, very easy to predict. You know exactly how a shark is going to react when you say something to him. You can vouch for how a teddy is going to react if you invite him out. You know how a fox is going to react when you offer him something. I mean, these guys are completely predictable. The last category, very, very difficult to predict because they are not very sure about who they are and what they are meant to do and what works for them and what doesn't. So, which brings me to a very important question that you need to ask yourself. Will the same behavior, will the same approach work with all these kinds of people? Think. It won't work, right? Which means that you have to seriously work out a strategy to work with various kinds. Ask yourself, how can you appeal to a shark? How can you appeal to a fox? Will the same strategy work for a shark and a fox and a teddy and a tortoise? It won't. With a shark, obviously, you need to be more passive. You need to let go a little. You can't hurt his ego because for him, ego is very important. You can't challenge him. You can't say things to him which will hurt him because he won't take it lying down. With a fox, you'll find that anything you say to him, it won't affect him at all because honestly, he gives a damn. With a teddy, if you hurt him, he's someone who will take it very, very seriously and he'll feel very sensitive about it and then you can't connect to him at all. With a tortoise, he won't say a word. He will really save this in his heart for a very long time. And then when you least expect it, he's going to give it back to you twofold, multifold. So if you really want to be effective with people, what you need to do is look at who they are, what personality type they are, and then make a strategy that will work best with them. The same attitude and the same behavior is not going to work with different kinds of people. And when you do this, you're called a very mature individual. All the best. If you do need to contact me and if you need to know more about personality types and how to deal with them, get in touch with me. My numbers are given on the screen below and also my mail ID. Hope to hear from you soon. In the night, I used to try to talk to her and she would tell me